Hi, I'd like to talk to you about some of the work I did with middle school students. We would work with the silhouette to begin with because the silhouette was a good place for them to start to see negative and positive spaces. And they could change the shape easily and by just making it larger and correcting themselves. So we worked from still life objects, and once they felt good about their object, we would put a bright light on to the subject they were working. And this bright light let them really understand where the highlights fell. They would take white paint and apply that to the highlighted area. They would also be working on composition, about taking an object and having it fill up the whole space. This was work done by 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and 9th grade. One of the exercises that I would have them do is they would take a sheet of paper and cover it with charcoal. And then once that was covered with that dark pigment, they would take an eraser and pull out the highlights and the middle ranges. And this helped them really understand volume and create things that looked as if they had volume to them. Once they learned that, then we could adapt it to these warped line drawings by creating denser lines and more expanded ones. They worked with contour lines. They did exercises where they weren't looking at their pages, they were drawing. And once they started to feel good about shapes and blending, we would work on portraits. Now you're seeing two different types of approaches. I was working with some students and we would really study the face and the eye, and they would put together their own features. And then we would work another way where we would take photographs in black and white and then work on each space a little bit at a time, really studying the value and the tones. They would take this information and we would apply it to work with color. We used good pigment, and I showed them how to use natural sponges to erase, to really pull color out of their pages. We started out with still life, and we had frozen fish, and we had some plastic fruit, and we were able to work on it till they were satisfied. They would do some preliminary sketches, so they would decide which composition they wanted to do. I encouraged them to do an awful lot of preliminary sketches. And then they went on subject matter that they were interested in exploring on their own. At middle school, I allowed them to work from magazines, and when we get to high school, getting together portfolios, I really make sure that they're their work is original, input into the next step. But at this age, they have a lot of